What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Freedom Talks on Friday. My name is Sam, and this is episode 38 of 52. Today, I'm going to be kind of going over the $1.9 trillion stimulus package that our president passed back on March the 10th, 2021. I'm sure everybody has heard of it now. I know that the stimulus checks, that's pretty much what everybody talks about, the $1,400 that's getting handed out, that is included in the bill. I have an article here from Forbes, and I will link this plus another article in the body section below. I have a simple breakdown of the package from Forbes.com. What's in the $1.9 trillion stimulus package? It's called the American Rescue Act. And this is in $1 billion. $16 billion is in agriculture, $59 billion is in small business, $123 billion is in COVID-19 response, $176 billion is in education, $246 billion extended unemployment programs, $410 billion in stimulus checks, $56 billion in transportation, $105 billion in health, $143 billion in expanded tax credit, $360 billion in government, and $194 billion in other. So when I read this $194 billion in other, I had to research more, and I had to show you guys what I found. I went over to my search engine and I found an article. It's Wikipedia, and I'll link this one also below. And I found a very extensive list of where the money was going. And a few things were kind of surprising. A few things weren't. So I found this on Wikipedia, and I just want to share with you guys and what is exactly in this Rescue Plan Act. Okay, so on Wikipedia, we've got a couple of outlines of the major ones, like extending unemployment benefits, $300 weekly supplement through Labor Day, September 6, 2021. We have the stimulus, the $1,400 direct payments to individual families, extended 15% increase in food stamp benefits for people who still are having trouble buying food for their family. Okay, lots of new tax provisions. Okay, there is in here, I know I did talk about student debt being canceled in one of my last videos. It is here. It does say, forgive student loan debt is made tax-free should Biden or Congress decide to cancel any debt. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I'll say it again. On Wikipedia, under the tax provisions, under one of the bullets, it says, forgiven student loan debt is made tax-free should Biden or Congress decide to cancel any debt. Fine print. There's under another bulletin under tax provisions, 3 tax increases on large corporations and wealthy individuals, collectively raising $60 billion in revenue. Okay, there's grants to small businesses. That's nice for all these businesses that has been shut down because of you know what. See, grants for restaurants and bars to meet payroll and other expenses. $15 billion for emergency injury disaster loans. Okay, here's another fine print. $3 billion for a payroll support program for aviation manufacturers. I don't know if there's any aviation manufacturers that watch these videos. The industry itself will be responsible for funding half of the program, and the program will last 6 months. I guess some of the airlines have suffered through this pandemic. A $1.25 billion in funding for the shuttered venue operators grant for music halls and other concert venues. I know a lot of musicians have suffered. Okay, this one I don't understand. $350 billion to help state, local, and tribal governments bridge budget shortfalls and mitigate the fiscal shock. Under that, a total of $195 billion will be allocated among the states and the District of Columbia, and the tribes and territories would be allocated about $25 billion. I don't understand that one. Okay, there's education funding, $130 billion for K through 12 schools, to safely reopen most schools within 100 days. All the schools around here are open. I don't know how you guys are, where y'all are at. Are all schools open again? Almost $40 billion for college and universities. At least half of the money to colleges and universities must go to emergency grants to students. College and universities, in my opinion, are way overpriced. Funding for housing. A lot of people still can't pay their mortgages, guys. A lot of people are still out of work. A lot of people are still suffering. I know that they are extending the thing where you don't have to pay your rent if you're still impacted by the pandemic. And I wonder about that. I think it's another 6 months or so. Whenever that ends, what's going to happen? You know, these landlords can't pay their rents, and I'm just worried about some type of crash coming. It's $75 million for housing assistance for tribes and Native Hawaiians. These grants can be used by tribal nations or Native Hawaiians to pay rent or stay housed. Well, what about the other people? Okay, $4.5 billion for the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, which will assist homeowners with the cost of heating and cooling. I didn't know we had a low-energy assistance program. $120 million for housing counseling services. $50 million in grants for low-income homes to help with water services. I hope that means help them get clean, fresh water, because I'd be about that. Here we got another one. The bill contains the following: COVID-19 funding, vaccine testings, and contact tracing, and other healthcare-related funding. Okay, they want to do vaccine distribution and assistance, $50 billion for that. There's a lot listed under this for the COVID-19 funding. If you guys want to read this, again, this is on Wikipedia, and I will put this link in the description of this video. $200 million for nursing loan repayment programs. I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, I guess they want to help them out for nurses stepping up to the plate when everything was chaotic. We've got transportation provisions, $30.5 billion in grants to public transit and commuter rail agencies across the country. $15 billion for airlines and airline contractors for a third extension of payroll support program. Okay, so that is that for the airline, but there's also money going to other aviation programs. $8 billion for U.S. airports, $2 billion for Amtrak, the train. There's $10.4 billion for agriculture and USDA. $4 billion and $4 billion, 39% of agricultural expenditures, and $1 billion, 9.7% of total agricultural expenses goes to debt forgiveness and outreach support, respectively, for socially disadvantaged farmers. Okay. Experts identified the relief bill as the most important legislation for African American farmers since the Civil Rights Act of 1964, benefiting many who were not fully compensated by the Pigford settlements. Changes to health care is another topic. Okay, we've got subsidizes 100% of premiums for COBRA recipients, temporary changes to ACA, if anybody is in that. And there's Medicaid and CHIP changes for those on Medicaid and utilizing CHIP services. Requires coverage of COVID-19 vaccine and treatments, allows state to give 12 months of postpartum coverage for the new mothers, introduces new incentives for state to expand Medicaid coverage, but they do not go into details about what the new incentives are. That is what is all on Wikipedia. It's just tons and tons of sentences of everything that the American Rescue Plan of 2021 offers. Okay, guys, I have one more article to show you, then I will be done. I know I've just been going on about this. On Newsweek, I have this article, and I will put it in the body below. Link to it. You guys can read it, make your own judgments and opinions. Congress approves a $1,400 per week for federal employees who stay home with kids who are learning remotely. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, okay, so we all get our one-time stimulus of $1,400, but federal employees that stay home with kids get additional $1,400 per week. So I had to read into it. So let me just skim over this, and you guys, like I said, can form your own opinions. Federal employees who have to stay home from work to care for sick family members or a child whose school is closed will be able to receive up to $1,400 a week in paid leave for 15 weeks. You heard? On Wednesday, the House of Representatives passed the rescue plan, sending the $1.9 trillion relief package to President Joe Biden for signing. Among the provisions in the bill is the allocation of $672 million to help ensure federal employees can take time off of work during the pandemic without incurring financial hardships. Now, I do know that if you have to take time off from work because of if you personally get sick, then you can file for unemployment benefits. But I don't think it's that much money a week. I don't think unemployment gives you that much money a week if you're just a regular Joe that has to take off of work because their child is sick or because they're sick. So as a part of the Emergency Federal Leave Fund, federal employees can receive up to $2,800 weekly in paid leave. Eligible employees must be unable to work because they're quarantining, sick, or getting vaccinated, or caring for a family member who is sick or quarantining or has a mental or physical disability and can't receive their normal care because of COVID-19. Okay, like I said, when you do unemployment, they have the pandemic benefits, and you can utilize them if you're out of work because of COVID. But I don't think that applies if your child is sick. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. But that's a lot of dough. That's a lot of money for them to give federal employees. Why can't this article read, Congress approves $1,400 per week for every employee who stays home with kids learning remotely? No. We ain't that special. It goes on to talk a little bit more at the end of the article, but I'm done going into that. I will again link this in the video plus the other two. You guys can read it. I tried really hard to find articles that were super in depth about every single thing that this new bill passed had to offer, but the only really in-depth one I could find was on Wikipedia. I couldn't even find the real. I think it's over 300 pages, but I was interested to know. I found what I found, and I am here to share it with you guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you don't think. If you like, leave a comment below. If you'd really like, give this video a thumbs up. And I hope everybody's having a great week, and you have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you next Friday, guys. Take care.